Hi, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Arm Warriors. I was inspired to create this channel. Shout out to Nick Strength and Power. I don't know about you, but if I need to know anything about bodybuilding, extra bits about strength or arm wrestling, it's always Nick who I'd go to. And I realized, you know what, we really don't have anything dedicated within the arm wrestling community just for arm wrestling. So my desire with this channel would be to give weekly, if I can, roundups about all the latest news and opinions in arm wrestling. So first of all, I want to talk about Ryan Bowen. I know Ryan gets, as we say in the UK, a lot of stick, a lot of criticism, but I think Ryan is a great personality for the sport. Call him delusional, call him optimistic. I love the guy, I enjoy his content, and he's done a lot for arm wrestling. What I want to talk about is his PED use, performance enhancing drugs. Now, over on Leo Rex's podcast, he had accused Ryan of this. There'd been maybe some intimations in the past, but Ryan himself did a video recently talking about his blood work, that he was on gear, that he was cycling, he was getting what appears to be professional help and certainly expert advice in terms of steroids, whatever they might be, Test, Anavar, Trenbolone. I don't know all of the names, but he was honest enough, man enough, whatever you think, to admit that. We know there are many in arm wrestling that do take PEDs. Quite obviously, some of them in very large amounts from particular regions in the globe that we won't go into. But it's not always obvious. People think steroids just means big muscles. It doesn't. I mean, Lance Armstrong did not have bulging muscles per se, but steroids give you energy, they give you recovery time, they help you get over your injuries, they help with the aches and pains, so they just improve your performance. Leo was quite straightforward in his accusations. He accused Ryan of lying or trying to cover it up. Ryan was a man in that he said, hey, you know what, let me respond to that, get me on the podcast. And as Leo said, he was a gentleman. He explained himself well. And the reality is, as Leo said, that in professional sports, at any level, a lot of people are on performance enhancing drugs. You think about Ben Johnson, when he won the gold medal, he was singled out as a scapegoat, but the reality is, like, I think 7 out of 8 guys in that race were juiced up. So you get the fall guys, you get the scapegoats, you get the Lance Armstrongs, you get the Ben Johnsons, you get the Marion Joneses, but the reality is a lot of these guys are on levels of drugs, and we just don't know about it. There's a lot of money in professional sports, especially the bigger sports, and a bit of an old adage is just follow the money, see where it goes. And many times it leads to athletes getting help outside of their own natural ability. Okay, next thing to talk about is the Fatal 4-Way. Devin was the first to bring this to my attention. Devin Larratt, that on the 10th of July, I believe, we're going to have a 4-way elimination tournament between Chance Shaw, Jordan Sill, Don Underwood, and Mike Aiello. And it's going to be Chance Shaw versus Jordan Sill, and then Mike versus Don Underwood, and then the winner of that is going to face, of those two matches, will face each other in the final. John Brezink thinks that Don Underwood has this. He's obviously he's a big guy. He has a very powerful hit. But as Ryan pointed out, he has lost recently. So he's getting older as well. Arm wrestlers are unique and be able to peak later in life. But I'm not sure if he's going to win. Ryan thinks that Mike Aiello has this. He thinks that just Mike's strength, being able to stop somebody in the middle, being able to catch a hit, being able to turn the match inside into a hook is going to win out and see victories over Don and over Chance in the final. Ryan thinks Chance will take the win on Jordan Sill. So we'll see. It's exciting. We're looking forward to this. It's going to be on Chance Shaw's YouTube channel, so make sure you check it out. Okay, and the last thing, not the last thing, the second to last thing, is Michael Todd versus RVJ training video. Very good to see Michael's on his Pan-American RV journey. Listen, man, I want an RV. There isn't a lot of places to visit in the UK, but you know, it's a good look. My comments about this is, I think RVJ is looking a bit smaller. Now, he says he's natural. Hey, if he says it, I'm going to believe him. I believe in integrity. I believe in, somebody says that, believe in them, not always doubting that. But to me, he looks a little bit smaller than competing. That just might be his training regimen. I'm not sure. But initially they look to chalk up and trying to stay out of the strap. To me, it looked like Mike was catching his press easily. He was able to pronate through RVJ's hand and keep it flat. But then they did go to the strap and Mike had his hand. Mike's, despite what Devin made it look like, being the beast that he is at the moment, Mike has excellent elite level world-class pronation. He had his hand. He could have easily popped up and pressed him, and in fact later he did do that. He started popping up. He pressed him a couple of times. But you got to understand, he wants practice. At this elite level, at Mike's level, he wants practice. He's not looking to just crush a guy. You'll see this with Devin in practice. He wants to let the guy work. That's the unwritten rule in arm wrestling. Let the smaller, let the less experienced guy work. And then you can just practice your angles. You can go to your weak points like Devin does, being the sensei of arm wrestling, to just work on those weaker points. RVJ tried to press. Mike controlled it easily, in my opinion. He was letting him work. RVJ got a pin. He celebrated, but think about Devin Larratt. People have pinned him in practice quite regularly. Devin's been arm wrestling for hours, or he might have had a match before. But there's always more to the story, like the practice king, right? Hermes Gasparini, he did just cane Matt Mass, but at the same time with Vitaly Letta, you can always tell from the practice table. But RVJ is very strong. It's not going against him. He was doing well. If he claims to be natural, then if he's natural, he is super strong, amazingly strong. So kudos to him, and it was just a great thing to see. Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about Larry Wills quickly. Larry is having his break from arm wrestling. He's left Dubai. He's back in the States for a few months. As far as I'm aware, this is not a permanent arrangement, but he's back there for now to go back to his powerlifting days. But from an arm wrestling perspective, it is just a break for Larry. We had high hopes for him with the rematch on Schoolboy. He got crushed again. Too much too soon, in my opinion. Schoolboy is a world-class level, at least elite level arm wrestler. Larry is super strong, super talented, explosive, but has not got the years of arm wrestling training behind him. Now, he's come on a long way. If Larry entered like tournaments in the US, when you get regional, state or city tournaments, listen, he would crush a lot of guys. He is very good for how new he is to the sport, but he needs, in my opinion, to pick some lower level opponents just to beat them, get the wins, get his confidence up. He needs the tournament table time to learn the ins and outs, to learn, as Devin says, be a bit more crafty, not so waff. But Larry really has huge potential, so he's not done with arm wrestling. I know he'll be back to it soon, and I fully expect to one day see Larry Wills in the WAL. He's got his own productions, PR, which was fantastic. Got King of the Table 2 coming up in a couple months' time. Looking forward to that. But I know Larry's not done. He's a great guy. I've had a little bit of personal contact with him, and he's a really humble, down-to-earth guy. He's somebody you want to get behind. So let's stick behind Larry Wills as a community. He's not done, and I'm looking forward to all that he's going to do in the sport. Anyway, this has been the first Arm Warriors video update. Let me know if you like it. Any comments, any advice you want to give, please do like, share, and subscribe. We want the channel to blow up, not just for my sake, but for the sake of arm wrestling. There is no single channel that's just dedicated to rounding up the arm wrestling news in the same way as Nick's Strength and Power. I've seen a channel where it's just one piece or a couple pieces of news, but in terms of these quick bites from around the arm wrestling world, I think this channel is unique. So please spread the word. And I hope to do some exciting interviews in the future. I've got a couple of contacts, exclusive content, and we'll catch you next time on Arm Warriors.